Right, so today I'm going to do the modifications to the neck ring assembly, the neck bin. Because at the moment, when I put the dome on, it doesn't really fit very well. So I don't think it's much to do with Andy's work. It's kind of to spec from the builder's manual down there, but it's just not fitting with the mechanism I use to make the dome rotate. So basically on my NSD I've got a plant pot underneath here which makes it spin round, which is all good. That's like a really cheap basic way of making your dome spin. It's very lightweight. It's got your caster wheels on it. You've got some little handles to make it spin, and you've got a central screw to lock it to the neck bin. So, you know, this is like the cheapest methods possible for a spike in the middle of the dome to make it rotate nice and evenly. So that works nice. That goes on there quite well. When I put the dome on, it's not so great because now we have a massive height issue. I mean, it spins, but yeah, there's just you know, the gaps here are just not even. I mean, the gap here should be the same as these two gaps, basically, which is not. So I need to drop the neck bin by an inch or so to make the dome rotate. The other headache is the other thing I've got to try and do is chamfer these off, because basically the tops of them need to be 45 degrees because otherwise they catch on the inside of the dome. So you got your dome, which has got a sort of angled edge to it, and basically with the old classic Daleks, they chamfered the top of these off at a 45 degree angle. So I have to take them all off and cut them on this, which is an angle cutter. To do that, I've had to number each place where they were, so I don't forget, and then just screw it all back together again when it's done. The other thing I'm not quite sure about, I mean, this is why I want to possibly lower this top down a bit by shortening these struts, because of from most of the neck bins I've worked on, usually the top is flush with the top of these, whereas this one, you know, there's quite a bit of a gap. Now that may be just because we're following the specs from the Dalek Builder's Manual, and maybe that's their best guess, or maybe that's the actual measurements. I don't know. I still need to figure out the best way to tackle this. I mean, I need to check that these gaps are right to begin with, and make sure that they're okay. I'm not going to change the length of the rods. I presume that they are the right length. I'm pretty sure they are. But in the spec manual, it does seem to have the top overshooting the rods. But from most of the kind of documented photos of neck bins, usually these are flush with. This is usually flush with the top of that. This here is usually flush with the top of that. So it's. I don't know, I can't really move it, but. No, I can't do it. But anyway, that's the plan. So I need to drop this and chamfer those. I've got to take all this apart. So like I say, it's all numbered. And labeled it top, middle, bottom. And hopefully it won't take too long. It's just a question of whether it will go back together nicely or not. It's just unfortunate that these weren't chamfered to begin with. I guess he was going to tackle them with a Dremel or something, but being in a storage facility, there's no electricity, so I have to work with very primitive means to get the same results. It just means a little bit more work. Plus the Dremel's going to be very messy, dust flying everywhere, whereas in some ways it's just easier just to cut these with a hacksaw. I don't know. But anyway, that's the plan for today, is to strip down the neck bin, try and get it to work with my mechanism, and hopefully get it all back together again in the next couple of hours. So let's see how we get on.